Hello and welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the CMFF skin converter so that you can take skins that you've designed for the default avatar UV mapping in Second Life and easily convert your textures for use with the fitted mesh avatar. So you should have already downloaded the skin converter files. You'll find the link to download that in the instruction manual that came with the avatar, and you'll need to download and install a free program called XNormal, and you'll also find the download link for that in the instruction manual. So let's assume you've done both of those things and you've already installed XNormal, and so let's take a look at how easy it is to do this. So I'm going to start XNormal here. And the first thing we're going to do is over on the right side of the interface here, we're going to go down to Settings and Examples. And I'll click on that, and up here in the upper left is a button that says Load Settings. So I'm going to click that. You want to navigate to the folder for the SL to CMFF skin converter, which you should have placed in the root of your C drive. And that's so when you load the settings file, it knows where to find the associated meshes and things that make this work. So we're going to load the CMF skin conversion settings file. It's an XML file. And it'll say settings loaded correctly. So let's take a look at what that did here. If we go up here to the High Definition Meshes tab, find there are 3 meshes listed, and these correspond to the head, the torso, and the legs of the default SL avatar. And you'll see right next to that is a column that says Base Textures to Bake. And for right now there's just the UV templates for the default avatar loaded here, just so you can test it to make sure everything's working. If we go to the Low Definition Meshes file, you'll see there's 2 listed here, and these correspond to the face texture of the fitted mesh avatar and the body texture. You'll notice next to that there's, on the left hand side of each one, there's a visibility checkbox, and right now only one of those is visible. And let's just do a quick test with this initial setup here. I'm going to go over to baking options, and a couple things you want to check to make sure here. You'll see right at the top we have the output file. You see I've already done this here, but if we were going to set this up to do a test, let's just call this test face. We'll tell it to save. You can set your output size here. The size of the textures that the fitted mesh avatar uses by default are 1024, and that should already be set up for you here. And down on the left hand side is a list of all the different types of textures you can bake. For our purposes, we're just going to do bake base texture, so you don't want any of the rest of these checked. But since you loaded the configuration file, all of this should already be set up for you. So let's just take a quick look at what this does just by hitting the Generate Maps button. And here you can see the head texture from the normal UV mapping from the default avatar converted really quickly over to the mapping used by the fitted mesh avatar. So let me close this out. And I'm going to uncheck visibility for the face and enable it for the body. And we'll do this again. And we'll just overwrite that other file. And you can see it very quickly creates the body texture from the torso and legs texture. So if we want to set this up to convert your textures, we only need to change what the base texture to bake here is pointing to. So you just want to click and select this top texture, or this top row here, right click on it, and down here in the pop-up menu it says Base Texture to Bake. And I've got some here on my desktop that we'll give a try. Here I have the textures from the Fantaskin Silver Paint skin. So you can see this top row here is the head texture. So I'm just going to select the head texture here. And then click to activate the next row. You want to make sure that the row turns blue before you right click and change the base texture to bake, because it'll change the texture only for the one that's in blue. So if you just did this again without clicking to highlight this, you just replaced the one that you already loaded. So again, I right click on that, base texture to bake, and I'll take the torso texture here and do the same for the legs. And I want to change the baking options here. I want to change what the output is. So you can see I've already done these also to make sure this was all working. This is, I believe, the face, so we'll call this Silver Paint Face. Let's just double check that that's what it's pointed to. Nope, that was the body. So let me turn on visibility for the face and turn it off for the body, and I'll do generate maps. Okay, and there we go. And then to do the body, I'll just turn off visibility for the face, turn it on for the body, go to baking options and change the output name. We'll call this Silver Paint Body, and then I can just click generate maps, and there we go. That's all there is to it to convert the skin. Now let me jump into Second Life here a second, and we'll take a look at how well that does. So I've already uploaded the two that I did previously, so I'm not going to bother to load these into a skin card or into an applier. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way here. So I'm going to go to select face, and I'm going to take, let me check and see which one is which here. Alright, that was the face. This is the body. So let me apply this to the various texture sections of the mesh here. Okay, let me get the back. And let's take a look. You can see that does a pretty good job. All the features end up where they're supposed to be here. And you can see we've got a little bit of seam cleanup to do, but not very much. All in all, this gets you about 98% of the way there. Now there's a couple of places that don't convert extremely well. You might not be able to see it too much on this one, but the ear hole will tend to have a little bit of noise in there, which will require just a little bit of cleanup. And because the default mesh doesn't have toes, it has flipper feet, and the fitted mesh avatar has toes, you'll also end up needing to do a little bit of retouching and cleanup around the toe area. This one, being an abstract skin, doesn't show it too much. You see there's just a few places we get a little bit of seam issues, a little bit around the ankle, but really this, getting you this far with just a few clicks saves you hours of work. So using this method, it should be very easy for skin creators to convert your skins over to be compatible with the fitted mesh avatar. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's all set up for you already. All you need to do is load in your textures, change the output name, and change the visibility for the part you want to render. Do that twice, once for the body, once for the face, and you are about 98% done with your skin. So, thanks for watching.